Welcome to Global Voice Radio with Nikki Ruffin-Smith, host of Naya's Project. Join Nikki as she talks about education, family fun, and building a business. Join Nikki Ruffin-Smith, host of Naya's Project, every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Hello, this is Nikki Ruffin-Smith, and I am your host for this session tonight, or this evening, or whatever time zone you are in. I am your host, and I am so excited because this is my second show. So excited, and guys, let me tell you, if anything can go wrong, trust me, it will. It will. I have tried my best to prepare for this evening, and just everything went wrong. However, I am going to do the very best that I can to give you the best show that I can in relation to STEM. As you know, if you heard the last show, my first show, you are in for a treat, because not only am I talking about STEM, I'll be having what I call an I digress moment, where I'll talk about other things. At that time, I'll usually bring in someone. That's my plan. Interview someone, bring them in, and we'll talk about a lot of different things. Mostly, I'll bring in educators, but I'm going to open it up for coaches, entrepreneurs, all types of people, just to give you that I digress moment and keep you in touch with life as it happens, outside of learning a classroom environment and everything. So I look forward to that. We'll usually spend about 15, 20 minutes doing that digress moment. And then after that, I'll get into some fun, and I'll talk about some travel ideas and interesting travel vacations that I might have, very cost effective, and something just really good. And I may even throw in some treats here and there as far as some freebies are concerned when it comes to that, or maybe some vouchers. But you just have to stick with me and stay tuned. I want to go back and give you, just in case you might have missed my bio along the way, I want to recap that just for a few minutes and again tell you I am Nikki Ruffin-Smith. I am a 28-year veteran of the United States Army. I served as an officer as well as an enlisted person. So I had a big learning, not a curve, but I learned in every realm of the military. In the Army, I had some Air Force experience as well, because I did Air Force ROTC in high school. And I also had several family members serving in the Air Force. I ended up joining the Army, though, straight out of high school, because the Army at that time decided they wanted to take me right away when I was ready to go. So I did that and enjoyed that. I came in as a logistics soldier, and worked my way after the 8 years did that fulfill my contract. I signed up in the Alabama National Guard and did that time 8 years as a logistician, and then spent maybe a few weeks out of the military and decided that I wanted to go active duty, something I wanted to do from the very start. But I decided I'll go to college for a little while ended up going on active duty many times anyway in the Guard because, there was so much going on in the world as it is today. But I served in so many different capacities on active duty. And one of the most memorable was Desert Shield, Desert Storm. So after serving in Desert Shield, Desert Storm, I decided, okay, yeah, if I'm going to do this, I might as well be active. Might as well just be active duty and just it. That's just it, straight across the board. Because this is the weekend thing, and then we're calling it a weekend thing. It didn't work for me, and then I'm still doing, the active duty thing. And then going back home to my regular life, it was just not something I wanted to do. And then after that, I also graduated with my associate's degree, and I had a baby, and, just life was just happening. So I needed to make a change. I needed to do something different. So I went on active duty and after serving 8 years, Alabama National Guard, and really figured, okay, yes, wow. I won't say that I wasted 8 years in the Alabama National Guard because it really did me well. But I just knew that I should have done it from the very start. And that's something that I'll talk about later on down the road, something when fear takes hold or you allow fear to take hold of you, then it stunts your growth. And fear also can keep you mute, keep you ignorant, keep you, just in the dark, totally in the dark. And that's what fear did for me, because I was afraid to really give a full commitment, give everything I had to the military. I wanted to play both sides, and be a civilian and then be military. And, again, that just wasn't something that worked well for me. I was a great soldier, but my mind, I was always in a dilemma in my mind because I knew what I wanted. Well, anyway, this is not a show for that, but because I could talk all day about that. And if you should listen to this and want to know more, I have a book giving a little bit of that in it called A Phenomenal Woman, and that is on Amazon.com. And feel free to purchase that at any time. I'm going to have another book that it will definitely get more in the trenches, so to speak, on where I was in my mind at that particular time, and tell you more about why and who, what, when, where, why and how, all those type of things, my military career. So let me move on a little bit further. And as a fast forward, 2015, I retired as an Army major. Had I gone earlier in the military, active duty like I wanted to do, I would have probably been retired as a colonel. But then you never know. I was young, so you never know. I could have still retired maybe as a major, or maybe not that high of a rank at all. So it could have been less, You never know. But I did a great job, I think, in the military, and it served me well. It served my family well. My family stood the test of time, and they were soldiers alongside me. My daughter at the time when I went active duty was 5 years old, 5 or 6. And so her life pretty much was spent right there. She really, I don't think she could tell you, because there's a very fine line between her, what she remembers outside of the military, active duty and civilian, because again, she was really never a civilian. The National Guard world kind of, it's blurred to her. She doesn't really know the difference. All she knows is Mommy was gone, and to her that was active duty. Okay, so that is a little of my military, or a lot of my military background. And as I began to transition out of the military, I started writing more. I started, getting my education in order, and I got my master's degree in humanities, which is a very wide field, type of thing. I can kind of, again, dibble and dabble in this and be over here and that and teaching this and teach, so there was really no specific area that I decided I wanted my degree in. And that had nothing to do with fear. That had to do with time, the time that I had to complete my degree, was totally dependent on the time that the military gave me to complete, or I was in transition with one assignment to another. And as I was completing my master's degree, I was deployed in combat, and so there were a lot of things surrounding why I got that particular degree, and also I do enjoy the different aspects of it. Okay, so that's about it. I got married to my husband for the second time. Yes, and we had a baby. I think I told you all about that on my first radio debut, the debut of my first show, and I told you all about that. So she's going on 3 or 33, 23. I'll give her 23. So she is something else. Her name is Naya, and that's where Naya's Project comes into being because of my little Naya. And so that is this show. That she just sparked everything in my life, Naya's Project. There's so many different pieces of Naya's Project. And to be totally honest and clear about everything, Naya's Project is under the umbrella of Exhale to Excel. And if you see my email address, that is what I use. That encompasses everything that I do. I fall up under Exhale to Excel. And I choose to keep that particular name and have everything I do fall under that, because that name started with me since 2005, and it has a history that I can't even begin to tell you in one sitting. I just really cannot tell you that I decided at one point, which I am a coach, a life coach, decided to totally surrender to that calling, because I had been that all my life, a counselor, a coach, a mentor, and all those type of things. And so one of my very best friends came up with that particular name, and I was like, oh, that's beautiful. And at the time, there were a few of my friends in this walk with me, in the journey with me, who were under that name. And here I am standing alone with that name right now. But you never know. And, as time goes on, there'll be more people that I'm sure will come along and fall right up under that as well. So Exhale to Excel is just what it is. Exhaling, releasing things. You have to identify where you were, where you are, and then some of those things that don't fit anymore, that really don't define where you're going in life. You have to let it go. So exhale in order to excel. So I choose to keep that because there's so much power behind that. So Naya's project falls under that. And I'm really in this phase of my life. Naya's project is taking on so much of who I am right now. So I decided to go with Naya's project for this show. And as I go on this Naya's project, the journey of STEM, science, technology, engineering, math, and of course STEAM, adding the arts to that, I would like to stay with the name, the first one of the aspects of Exhale to Excel, Naya's project. Stay with that for this radio show. So I hope I made myself clear. I really do. I hope I made myself clear with that. I just kind of wanted to give you a little background on all of that. But for the radio show, again, we'll be talking about Naya's project and how we're growing and where we're going with that part of my life and what I'm called to do at this point in time. Okay, and then, as we talk about that again, we'll talk about other things and bring in people, and then we'll also have a little fun with that as well. So, without further ado, I'm going to get into some things about STEM right now, give you just a little tidbit, a little nugget, and I'll kind of give you a little of that as we, each week, as we talk. And because STEM is changing every single day. Why is STEM changing? Because science evolves. Science, law, technology, law, engineering, math, art. You have some aspects of it that remain the same. The fundamentals, they remain the same, but as a man or woman, as we evolve as human beings, then these things evolve. And we grow. We know more. I think the being whom I call God, I thank God for this, to just give us, all bless us with the knowledge and the know-how to find these things out on a daily basis, to discover what was really there all the time. It's just hidden in plain sight, but we're discovering it, and it's so fun. I find it rewarding. I find it interesting, and I'm not the person who will be your go-to person for these for science, technology, engineering, and math or art. I'm shining a light on these things, especially a light I'm being a vessel for those people who are kind of second or last in the discovery of these things, and nothing has changed in this world when it comes to who receives information first, who receives the best of this information first, who receives, when it comes to science and you're talking about medicine and different things like that, who receives the better treatment. I want to be a vessel, take the little bit of knowledge I've been blessed with and the ability that I have to research and to explore, bringing that to the forefront in those communities where people aren't, or people do not have the capacity to gain knowledge, the way that I can, or those people that I can possibly reach out to, And then I want to be a person that encourage those people in those communities who feel that they don't have the ability to do this, and help them believe that, yes, you do, and yes, you can. You can be this vessel for your community as well. You can do this. But because you have been limited, you have fallen into the mindset of that you cannot. So I want to be, or I aim to be, or I am being that person that says you can and you will, or we will, So that's what my radio show is about. That's what my life is about at this point in time. And yes, Naya has sparked all that in me. I have a big age gap between my children. My oldest daughter is 26 years old, the daughter who grew up with me, so to speak. Then I have a stepson who is 25 years old. And then there's Naya, who's 2 going on 3. She'll be 3 in March. So that opens, that opens my third eye to the nth power, And so I just find myself reaching into pots that I probably would have never reached into had I not had another baby at this time, in my life. So, again, getting back to STEM, I want to, in my future radio shows, I want to, just give you statistics as I can give you. So I did some research, and I looked at 2015, and I also compared. I said, well, I'm going to compare notes to where we are, and since 2018 has just begun, we can't do that right now, so I'll be making reference to 2017, but right now let's talk about 2015. In 2015, STEM, there were researchers or educators who decided, okay, we'll go with what they call Pbl, Project-Based Learning. And this is basically a collaborative effort where you have the teacher, you have the student, you have constituents, but mainly you have the teacher, the student, and the parent, all in the mix of what this child is doing and learning on a daily basis. And so I thought about it, and I said, well, this model has been around for quite some time, and whereas, well, at least for me, as far as I know, but I'm sure if my mother was alive, she would probably see it a little bit differently. She would say, okay, well, my teacher was the be-all type of teacher. That is what the teacher said, what the teacher wanted, that type of thing. Whereas it's not that anymore. It's what the teacher and the parent and all the powers that be, everyone that matters in that kid's life, including the kid. The student has a say-so in the learning. And I think that it's so great the student has a voice. The parent has a voice in the matter, of this student. So project-based learning And we'll get deeper into that as time goes on. And then, we'll also talk about the art. How did art come in there? How did art come into play? So without doing any research, I thought about that part of it at the very, very bare minimum of probably what they intend this to be. But I thought about it, and I was thinking, okay, art. Without art, I noticed that as I was growing up, art was really not a big deal, at least from what I can remember. Not a big deal. And I'm talking about any form of art. Any form of art, and the only part of art that I could think that maybe mattered, really, really mattered, was music. And I don't know if that mattered as much or would have mattered as much if the music wasn't in the same vicinity as the sport, because you look at the band. You look at the band, and so that, I think, made the band special because the band played for the football team. And then we had a slice of the band playing for the basketball team. So this was a big deal where I was from and what I did. And I'm sure with a lot more schools, it was a big, big deal. And but as time go on, we'll see that art means so much more than that when we're talking about STEAM, when we're talking about STEM, and how students are being prepared for the future. And I just really can't wait to get into this a little bit more, but I want to continue to kind of give you a little introduction and take it slow, because we have time. Take it slow, and so we'll grow and know more. And I want this to be a teaching effort, because a lot of people really don't know about this. There were folks that I spoke to about STEAM or STEAM, what I'm calling STEM A. I want to put my own little twist on it, where people are calling STEAM. There were folks that did not know about this. They knew, but not with that label, And a lot of people I talked to did not know where the educational arena is going with this. And I'm talking about parents of school-age children. So somewhere down the line, the project-based learning, now that was really identified in 2015, it's not reaching everybody. See, this is what I'm talking about. And some parents that I spoke to about this are parents that I would say are very hands-on and very, in-your-face type people, want to know what's going on, But that also has to do with being involved in the political arena, because you have to talk to some of your state leaders, or maybe not even that far, but your school board. You have to be involved in that. And then on up and up and up. You really have to be involved. And I know a lot of people, like myself, are like, oh, my God, I wish I could clone me, because that's just a lot to stay on top of. But you really don't have to be in the trenches with it, but you really need to sometimes take a moment, like my grandfather, used to want his Sunday paper. Take a day, like Sunday, what have you, after you've gone to church or whatever you do, and get online and read the news and go through different areas of the education system and see what's going on. What are the new topics? And, so even with my age now, I have friends, classmates, high school classmates, who are on the school board. I have a classmate who's the president of a school board in Selma, Alabama. So I have people that I can speak to with these, with agendas and know what's going on for real in the classroom. And I have a cousin who is vice principal. I have friends who are principals and different things like that. So, and I'm sure you do too. Once you really just narrow everything down, think about it. And it's important, even if you do not have children, it's important to stay abreast of what's going on because the children are the future. And at some point, these children will start running the country, running your neck of the woods. You want to know what they're getting today, what they're learning. Most of the time, I hear people talking about what kids aren't doing, what the kids today are not doing, and how they are, in a negative way, so different from the way we were, and so different and so misunderstood, and nobody wants to take the time to understand, because you can't relate to them. Well, people thought that way about my generation. And the people who thought that about my generation, folks thought that about them. It's a cycle. There is nothing new under the sun. We have to take the time to learn. So STEM and STEAM are not new. They're fairly new, but they're not new. They're not new. It's just now somebody somewhere is saying, okay, we notice that robots are the way to the future. You're taking all of these physical hands away from the factories, and you have machines doing this. Well, we need people that are knowledgeable enough to make these machines. And guess what? We're not just talking about men. So that is one very important part of my agenda, is to increase the knowledge for women out there, young women. And I'm talking about preschool, pre-K. I want to reach the parents of these young girls. And, oh, by the way, I'm a woman of color, so of course my agenda, again, is to reach those who look like me. Not just those who look like me, not giving more to those who look like me, but because it's common that those who look like me are the ones that have been lagged and left behind. I would like to bring those people, pull them up to be on the same learning curve as those who get it firsthand every day, all the time. So that is something that I would like to do with my radio show, with my book, with my curriculum, with all of the things that I am doing today. So I mentioned my book, and I started, and as I get each book done, I'm learning more and more, and my books are changing along the way. And I'm just so blessed to see how things are changing. When I first started with my book, I started with Naya Knows Numbers. I skipped the science, skipped the technology, skipped the engineering, went straight to math, and then did numbers. Because guess what? That felt safer to me. It felt easier to me, to say, okay, let me do this one first. And so Naya Knows Numbers is a book, a children's book, and it's Naya as the main character. Naya is talking about numbers and how she can count in digits numerically, as well as write out alphabetically her numbers. And, so that felt good. And she's introducing the special people in her life and using her numbers to do that. Not only did I do that with Naya Knows Numbers, I created a video because I know that there are different learning styles for everyone, different learning styles. So you have a book, you have a video, and then the teacher has the curriculum, or the homeschool provider has the curriculum, or the parent. It's open, has the curriculum, and it's something. It's more of a guide, not something that you just say, oh, I have to teach it this way. No. What did we say? Project-based learning. You have input from the teacher, from the parent, from the student, and you take all of that and you create something that works for you. So then I went on to Naya Talks About Technology. And in that, I used some up-to-date technology compared to some out-of-date technology. Put that in the books because some of those things that are out of date are still used by some people. And just so the kids can see it, and if they ever see it again somewhere along the way in life, they can identify and say, oh, I saw this in Naya Talks About Technology. They identify those things. They get a definition of what technology is to where they can understand it. And then they write. They're able to use these books to draw and to write and to identify and to just have a great time with that. And again, you have the video, you have the curriculum. Then I went on to Naya Soars in Science. Naya Soars in Science. I went on, Naya Enjoys Engineering. Then you get Naya Adores Art. So that is what where I am with Naya's project. And as time goes on, those particular areas will become a main area in itself, with so many different books about Naya and how Naya takes certain parts of science, and her story is dedicated to that. And then, same with technology, same with engineering, same with math. So that's Naya's project in a nutshell for this session, this radio show tonight. I would like to take you on a journey now, and let's digress. Let's digress. Once you hear this show, we will no longer be celebrating MLK as a nation, but many of us still celebrate his memory every single day in things we do. As a matter of fact, just the idea of me being on this radio show just the idea of me being able to write a book and it sells and it can reach any household, anywhere, and just me being able to talk about it is support. I have a dream. I have a dream. Oh, wow. And I just want Dr. King at this moment to know that his dream, it is existing, and it is well alive. It is, wow, I don't know the words right now, but it is, I'm awake. I'm walking his dream every single day. I'm living parts of his dream every single day. So today, because my birthday is January 17th, I decided to celebrate my birthday every day this month. And I did a Zumba. I had a Zumba party. Zumba is an art. Zumba is an art. And I had a great time. And today, there was a ceremony for Dr. King. There was a 5K run walk, and a ceremony for Dr. King. And I enjoyed that today. I took part in that. My family and I, one of my girlfriends, we all took part in that today and just had a great time. I would love to, I'm going to attempt to find a couple of pieces that I did in the past about Dr. King in so many words. One of the pieces I did, and again, it's not necessarily about him, but it could. I think I'll present it next month for African American Month and History Month, and it's called "The Making of a Slave," 2018. Making of a Slave, 2018. And I'll share that piece with you guys. I'll share a little bit of it because it's fairly long. And if you ever had a chance to read The Making of a Slave, Willie Lynch letter, if you ever had a chance to read that, then you know where I'm coming from. And I just brought it to 2018, or because I wrote it in 2014. So every year, it doesn't go out of style. It's the same every single year. But thank God that when this letter was written during slavery, or allegedly written, because there are people who are saying that this letter was not ever written by Willie Lynch, or it was just a fabrication. But the thought of someone even writing that, even with that thought process, is like, wow. I challenge you, though, if you have not read that letter, read the very first letter. Read that. Read the one allegedly written by Willie Lynch, and take your personal views out of it, and tell me. Come back. I would love to hear your comments on what you feel about that. The thought of someone using that as a tool to control, to make money, to make a business, a profitable business, is something. And I hate to use the word genius, because I'm an African American, and the idea that my people were used like this under such a derogatory thought process is humiliating. It is degrading. It is sickening. Yet, when you look at this, if I just want to hear your comments, okay? I want to hear your comments on this. But anyway, so getting back to, I want to present you with my version of that for 2018. And I also want to give you, I would love to share myself. I'm from Selma, Alabama, originally from Hartford, Connecticut, but I grew up in Selma, Alabama, the heart of the civil rights movement. And I would love to share a video that I made on that with you guys during February. I would also like to share so many other things about a lot of my books, and I'll be advertising. You guys can reach me on Facebook. I'm the only Nikki Ruffin-Smith, so I would love for you to seek me out. I have a blog as well called Exhale to Excel. And so I'll give you all the information. Just reach out to me, inbox me. I'll get you that. And this is still, guys, our digress moment. So I just wanted to let you know that how wonderful and beautiful today was as we celebrated Dr. King, and as I celebrated my birthday, which again is on the 17th, but I'm celebrating it every single day. And so it was just wonderful. I had my balloons and all those different things, and with family and friends, and it was just wonderful. The another part of today, the weather was gorgeous. Now, out of all the days of this week, today supposedly was or is the warmest day of the week. And it's just amazing. It's supposed to snow tonight. I'm in Tennessee. It's supposed to snow tonight, and the rest of the week is supposed to be cold. But today was just amazing. And although it was cold, it was warmer and very, very nice for the occasion. I was able to meet some of the people who put the run together and network, and how I can bring Naya's project next year or maybe next month, who knows, to the forefront in their arenas. We're all reaching people and teaching people, and of all races, of all ethnicities, of all backgrounds, financially and educationally. We're all doing that. So me coming to the table should be a given, right? Should be a given, and I'm just looking forward to that. I really am. On Wednesday, guys, on my birthday, I will be at Smyrna, Tennessee Library between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. Central Time with Naya's Project, introducing it during the story time. Libraries have the story time, and I'll be introducing it there. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm very excited. Well, we have about 5-10 more minutes of this show. And again, during I Digress moment, I'll be bringing in people to kind of digress with me. But today I wanted to, I really didn't want to digress by myself. It just happened that way because, again, technology had a couple of glitches. So I think I did a pretty good job of digressing with you guys. Now, on my fun moment, this is my advertisement moment. I would like to tell you all to please make sure that you stay tuned because there is a cruise. Although there are many more, you can inbox me and I'll give you different. You just tell me what you want, and I'll look it up for you and get you great prices on cruises and vacations. But there's a cruise coming up in July. I think it's July 26th, 4 days. Don't quote me on the actual date. I'll get you those dates. Just let me know you're interested. If you are an educator, a coach, life coach, health coach, enlightenment coach, transition coach, transformation coach, all those types of things. If you just want to network with people or be a part of this cruise, if you would like to be a vendor, you are an author, a radio host, just all these different things, male or female. There is an empowerment cruise, purpose cruise rather, that a young lady has put together, cruising from Miami to the Bahamas, Nassau, Bahamas, and the cruise is less than $500 for 4 days, 4-packed, fun-filled 4 days, 3 nights, and you do not want to miss it. All you have to do is, again, inbox me, Nikki Ruffin-Smith, the only one on Facebook. Inbox me, and I will get you ready. And right now, up until January 23rd, you can have your cabin held for only $25. $25 to hold it. And there's a payment plan, and we could discuss all of that. To the Bahamas. Now, any other cruise, we can do the same things for. Now, I don't know about the $25 to hold the cabin for any other cruise, but I do know about this one. But for the other ones, yes, you usually can $50 to $100, whatever. Usually you deposit on different cruises or what have you, and they work the same way. But this one's the first that I've heard that you put a $25 deposit down on this cruise. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Such a wonderful, wonderful treat. And it's an all-inclusive. Only thing you have to fly there, and I can help you with that too. Get your travel arrangements, all of that done right with me. Yes, indeed. What a wonderful thing, guys. What a wonderful thing. Well, it has come to the end of my show. I am going to call it a night. I hope you enjoyed it. I really hope that you are going to stay in here with me, hang in here with me, and if you would like to be a part of my show, like to come on, the only request that I have is give a donation to Naya's Project so that we can educate those who are less fortunate, and or purchase any of the books that I mentioned. You can purchase all of them, the curriculum or the videos, whatever. Just let me know. That's all I require. All I require, and you can have 20 minutes to talk about what you do, what you bring to this world that's positive, that's uplifting, that's worth celebrating it, and you want someone to hear about it. All right? So I am going to let you all go tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. God bless you, and we will talk soon. Again, at the same time next week on Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Bye-bye.
Join Nikki Ruffin-Smith, the host of Naya's Project, on Global Voice Radio every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern.